Wow, this beard is really growing out. I remember reading somewhere a theory that when people let their beards grow out, they're putting a barrier between themselves and the outside world. Is it that? Or am I just lazy and haven't gotten around to shaving? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments.
This is indeed a disturbing universe.
Hello, greetings, and welcome. Welcome to the Stereo 999 YouTube channel. I am your host, the artist formerly known as Stereo Steve. And I don't know, I'm feeling a little beside myself today. Hello, okay, but seriously, I've been kind of brainstorming in my head, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do for my next video or my next few videos. Been watching a lot of other videos which have been informative and entertaining, and every once in a while would kind of piss me off. So then I'm thinking, why am I preoccupied with all this? I mean, besides the gross injustice that is the world around me, and I realize it's just a form of procrastination. And what I really need to do is put back all of these records that I've pulled off of my shelves to talk about over the last few months. And so long story short, I have limited shelf space. A bunch just on the floor that aren't really gonna fit back up on the shelves. So what I'm going to do is, as I reorganize in alphabetical reverse order from Z down to A, I am going to pick records from each letter each week and talk about them, starting with Z and starting with the rock section, because I do have other sections for other categories. And that'll keep me busy for a while, and that'll get me organizing my records. So that'll kill two birds with one stone. Z. Okay, so for the Z episode, I actually have 6 records I want to talk about. And this first record that you might recognize from the food inside the cover is Tres Hombres by ZZ Top. And this is an original on London Records. And this is what you want to find, because the reissues of this on Warner Brothers are remixed. And this is the original version. I heard on the internet that at one time a chef decided to recreate this whole meal, and it's making me hungry, so I'm gonna just move on. This next band, a new wave act from around the LA area called ZYX, and it's got a little poster here, and they pretty much dressed as Romulans, and they had a very ahead of their time new wave sound for late 70s, early 80s. This is the Alternative Tentacles collection of their stuff that came out sometime in the 2000s. And unlike serious businessmen like Kiss, these guys were in their own fantasy world and walked around in character and talked like space aliens pretty much 24/7. If I'm in Z,
Got to talk about Zappa. I got a bunch of Zappa, but the one I chose to talk about is Mother Mania, the best of the mothers on Verve Records. And this was one of several Best of the Mothers of Invention albums that came out as a contractual obligation after Zappa moved from Verve MGM to Warner Brothers. What is special about this record is that there are different mixes and different edits of a lot of songs. Frank actually managed to sneak some uncensored versions of tracks from We're Only in It for the Money and Freak Out onto this record and got away with it. So the F-bomb and Mother People and the full Susie Cream Cheese spoken part in Can't Happen Here. Mother Mania. If you think you have all the Zappas because you have all the albums and you don't have Mother Mania, do look for this. 07, Simple Things. And this is from 2001. And this is from 2001, and that is the time when CDs were the most popular format. So this is an album that is plentiful on CD, super easy to find on CD, and pretty scarce on vinyl. I think it only came out in England. They were English. And I was lucky enough to find this at a garage sale at one point. The Australian singer Sia actually got her start singing on 07 Records. And this is some classic down-tempo trip-hop kind of stuff. This is the Zigzag People Take Bubblegum Music Underground. You got this one, Cosmic Brian? I bet you do.
I love it, man.
This is on Decca. And these guys, this was probably one of those exploitation where it was just studio musicians and not a real band, but I'm not entirely sure. But what they did was took all of these classic bubblegum songs like Hanky Panky, Little Bit of Soul, Yummy Yummy Yummy, 1 2 3 Red Light, and did these kind of slowed down funky psych rock versions of these songs, kind of updating early 60s bubblegum music for the late 60s. All right, and last but not least, the Zodiac Cosmic Sounds. And the Zodiac was actually Mort Garson, who gave us Plantasia, which has been reissued, and I've seen a lot of people show that record. Mort Garson synthesizer music. This is not like ambient instrumental synthesizer music. What this is are these kind of proggy songs with kind of Jim Morrison-ish poems about all of the different astrological signs. And I'm not remembering right now, but there was a prog band that covered one of these songs. And if you know, remind me in the comments because I forgot. But yeah. Since when is there a Ferris wheel in the park? Guess I need to face the fact I'm living in a tourist trap.
Why?
Oh, hey, what's up, Mr. Gopher? How's it going?
Oh, it's going all right. Just kind of chilling.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna talk about some records now.
Why?
Yeah, that's the letter I'm gonna get to. So I'm gonna need you to move out of the way so I can put these records in front of the camera.
Oh, no way, dude. I was here first.
Don't give me no back talk, sucker.
That's right, Mr. T. Mr. T wants you to move. I want you to move.
Don't make me mad.
Oh, gee, why are you being such a jerk?
I pity the fool.
All right, whatever.
Okay, so I pulled half a dozen records out of the Y section to talk about. And so this first one, this is Penetration, an Aquarian Symphony by Yahweh 13. And this is some very creative and chaotic improvised chud on this record. If you didn't know, the Yahuwah was the cult that Sky Saxon joined after the Seeds broke up. Oh, there I am. Hi. And yeah, there's a documentary film about the Yahuwah cult. So you go watch that. I'm going to continue on with the next record that I pulled out to talk about. And that is a record by a band that I've been obsessed with since I was a teenager. So this is Little Games by the Yardbirds. And long story short, this is the Jimmy Page album. Because, you know, in a nutshell, Five Live Yardbirds is the Eric Clapton album. And Roger the Engineer, American Title, Over, Under, Sideways, Down, is the Jeff Beck album. And Little Games is the Jimmy Page album. And this is an OG US copy on the yellow Epic label. You can see some kind of seeds of Led Zeppelin being planted. Like, there's some bow guitar in the song Tinker Tailor Soldier Sailor. White Summer is a Burt Jansch influenced instrumental, similar to Black Mountainside on the first Led Zeppelin album. Very trippy song called Glimpses. Some blues rock, and also some kind of poppy songs, because it was produced by Mickey Most, and he was trying to get a hit single out of them. And so, yeah, Little Games by the Yardbirds. Another band that there was lots and lots of stuff by in the Y section was Yes. And this is my copy of Fragile. And this is kind of unusual. This is a UK copy on this orange and purple label that I found sometime in the 90s. And the booklet is actually attached to the middle of it instead of just separate and thrown in the cover. And this is a different shade, this inside. But what is weird about this copy is these stickers with the faces of the band members on them. Looks like somebody tried to peel this one off. But I asked a friend of mine who is like really knows his shit more than me, who is just a poser, and he had never seen a copy of this album with these stickers. So these stickers came from somewhere, and maybe the original owner of this record stuck those stickers on this. If you know what the deal is, what's the deal? If you know what the deal is with these stickers with the members of Yes, let me know in the comments. Because it's a mystery, just like Bigfoot's a mystery. This band is called Yeti. Album is called Things to Come. And they were from Texas. This record came out about 2000 on the Life is Abuse label. Nice clear vinyl. And this is some kind of indie prog, kind of leaning towards metal. And it's just an interesting record. This was something the radio station had, and then I found a copy of it, and I thought, yeah, may as well buy this. I'm probably never going to see this again. All right. Another artist, you can't talk about the Y section of your record collection without talking about this artist. Neil Young, Tonight's the Night. And this is one of those cases where I just decided that a later pressing might be a better option than the original pressing. The original pressings of this album were on this kind of rough textured paper that just got kind of nasty and fell apart after a while. And a nice black reprise label, which kind of symbolized the kind of death and mourning theme of the music on this album. But this is a later pressing, probably from the 80s, as you can tell by the barcode. And it's on just smooth, slick, regular cardboard. And the label is this kind of yellow, green, and blue 80s style reprise label. Last but not least, for the Y section, this is Your Pest Band with Time to Go. And Your Pest Band is a Japanese garage punk band on the Snuffy Smiles label. And I saw them play in the basement of Thrill House Records. And they rocked. So I made a mental note that if I saw any of their records, I would grab them. But yeah, Your Pest Band from Japan, sometime in the late 2000s, I believe. 2014. All right. That was kind of a fun year. That was kind of a fun year. I saw a lot of good shows and had some fun in 2014. All right. Well, that is why
this ship goes where I want it to go.
X, X, X. X.
Under the Big Black Sun. I actually have 3 records by X. I have Los Angeles and Wild Gift. And then I have this, which is my favorite of their Electra era albums. And I just remember when I first heard it just being pleasantly surprised, because bands from the 80s, especially punk bands, kind of got soft when they got signed to major labels. But this was a solid hard rockin' album. Especially the song The Hungry Wolf. That is like classic X. Blue Spark is great. And God, I haven't listened to this in a while. I should listen to it. And the song Dancing with Tears in My Eyes, which is not the song by Ultravox, but Dancing with Tears in My Eyes is a cover of an old song from 1930. And I figure, since I'm the only person that would make this digression while talking about this album, this is the complete Hit of the Week, Volume 1, double CD. And Hit of the Week records came out in 1930 during the Great Depression. They were flexi records pressed on cardboard that were very cheap. And this is a collection of a bunch of those. And it has, among other things, has a big booklet with the whole story of the Hit of the Week records. I have like one or two of those, but I'm not going to dig through 78s to find it. But yeah, this CD has the original Dancing with Tears in My Eyes by the Hit of the Week Orchestra from 1930 on this CD. All right. Next, a band I saw live a couple of times. This is X-Girl, a three-piece Japanese all-female trio produced by the great Happy Kamiyama, who did a lot of interesting stuff. This is from 2001, and this is X-Girl doing a cover of M's Pop Music on a 12-inch. Okay, another band that's got to be in the X section of your record library, XTC. And this is my favorite XTC album, Drums and Wires, but it's not my favorite version of it because every time they reissued it, they changed it a little bit. And really, it's the original American pressing on Virgin that is the version I grew up with. And this one's not on Virgin, so that means it's fucked. This is on Epic. And the original album came out in 1979. And it's missing the single Making Plans for Nigel. But yeah, the kooky new wave XTC is pretty much my favorite era of this band. Andy Partridge also did a remix of the Drums and Wires album called Mr. Partridge Take Away, which is pretty trippy. It's very dubbed out, almost unrecognizable, some of the songs. And finally, I'm going to talk about the Dukes of Stratosphere, which was an XTC side project from the mid-'80s, where they went incognito as a 60s band, recorded on old equipment, had the old style Virgin Records label, and did these twisted psychedelic pop songs with a very Disraeli Gears looking album cover. They were not the only new wave or punk band from the 80s to go incognito as a 60s band. There is also a record called Naz Nomad and the Nightmares, which is the Damned posing as a 60s band, but that one's all cover songs. This is original and it's spectacular. Okay, so that's it for this week. That is it for this week.
So again, thank you. Thank you for watching. If you got this far, extra thank you. If you're new here, you can like and subscribe and all that if you want. You can go watch some of my other videos because you missed them, if you just got here. My repeat viewers and recurring commenters, there is no device that can gauge how much I appreciate y'all. So thanks for being there, and I'll see you next week. Keep rocking, and peace.
That's it, I'm getting out of here.